Chosen one. God has been quiet for a purpose. But today, the quiet is broken because heaven has completed something on your behalf. A heavenly judgment has been made in your favor, and the moment to really listen has arrived. This is not just another spiritual whisper. This is more than just another passing sign. What you're experiencing right now is a watershed moment. You've gone through trying seasons, weathered seemingly never-ending storms, and carried a burden that even those closest to you couldn't comprehend. Despite this, something was being worked out behind the scenes, and the results of that unseen labor are now available. God has made a critical decision for your life, and this message confirms it. Before we continue, please remain with me until the conclusion of this message. When you really and honestly listen, something tremendous occurs. This moment is more than just a video. It is an activation. And offer your fondest wishes. And the numbers? 777 in the comments. This is how we all fuel the environment. This is how the cosmos is educated to follow the vibrations of trust and alignment. Do not underestimate the power of a desire, whether voiced or written. It moves creation itself, writes it, declares it, and then accepts what heaven has already given. Now, choose one like this video. If you have not already done so, subscribe to the channel. Let we begin. The chosen one. The choice about you was not hasty. It was not due to emotion or chance. It was determined with heavenly insight. God has made up his mind about you. You have been seen, measured, and deemed ready. And what comes next is something you could not have purchased. You either borrowed or maneuvered your way into it. Something you had to be chosen for. Many were called, but you were selected for this heavenly mission. God saw your persistent determination when you might have given up. God has seen your calm obedience when you may have revolted. And that kind of spiritual honesty is uncommon. That is why this moment, this supernatural intervention, is occurring now. This choice was not made because you begged or pleaded. It was created because your soul radiated a brightness that could not be ignored. You are born with a destiny. God has determined that it is time to unveil the next layer. You're not entering simply another chapter. You're entering an age in which everything accelerates. What used to take years now takes just months. What was previously locked behind a lay will now be opened with heavenly might. This is no longer about effort. It's all about alignment. You are being put in the straight path of divine orchestration. Don't be shocked if some folks drift away. Do not be alarmed if some doors close unexpectedly. When God decides on your elevation, it comes with a cleanser. Everything that does not fit where you're heading will leave. That is not punishment. It provides protection. It's precise. You are being led into a room that only Favre may enter. Human intellect will not grasp it, but spiritual authority will. This level is designed for individuals who can bear the weight of blessings with dignity. And God has determined you are one of them. Something otherworldly is being triggered under your name. Not in theory and not in the far future. You've been wandering around with unanswered questions and circumstances that don't make sense. The reason things were confused was because heaven was still writing the chapter. And now that it's over, the clarity will flow in. You'll look back and see why everything had to happen the way it did. The jumble will clear, and the divine design will appear. This essential choice is more than simply about providing. It isn't only about money or favors, but both are important. It's all about position. God is establishing you as a cornerstone in your generation. You were not intended to blend in. You were destined to break new ground, to awaken people, to remind them that the supernatural still intervenes in human affairs, that miracles are not obsolete, and that spiritual greatness is still rewarded. God's choice concerning you is an assignment of visibility. You'll be spotted. You'll be heard. And the honor will not be yours. It will reflect back to the person who sent you. You may have noticed recently that your dreams are getting more vivid. Your intuition is stronger, and your feeling of urgency is rising. That is no accident. When God chooses for you, your spiritual senses become heightened. To receive the download, you must be prepared to break patterns and rewrite outcomes not just for yourself, but also for others around you. Your donation provides a source of inspiration and healing for many individuals. Expect unexpected adjustments and chances that seem too wonderful to be true. yet are really divine realities emerging. Expect favor to pursue you not because you're fortunate, but because you're compatible. Your obedience has caused a magical ripple effect, and you will find flow where others pause. You will know precisely what to do. You are being divinely prepared to perform with elegance and power that pushes the boundaries of everything around you. This moment is sacred. It's not loud or showy, but it's spiritually loud. If you are experiencing a burning in your heart, a stirring in your spirit, or a sense of confirmation, you cannot describe it. Honor it. That's the heavenly voice in agreement with your destiny. God does not ask for perfection. God is calling for submission. The choice is already made. You just have to walk into it. Heaven will do the hard lifting. All you have to do is agree. This film will serve as a watershed moment for you. The moment when everything changed in your favor, when the Almighty intervened and said, "It's time." What is it time for? It is time for restoration. It is time for elevation. It's time for heavenly recompense. And you're not going into it alone. You are now surrounded by an angelic presence. Guidance will become obvious. The paths will straighten. People designated to your next level will show up without your prompting. This is the favor for which you have cried. The solution you expected was delayed. It is here. And it happened by choice, not chance. God has chosen to reintroduce you. You're going to show up in rooms where no one expects you, well prepared. Not because of credentials, but due of supernatural protection. You've been in the background for quite some time, learning, developing, and enduring. But that season is done. What was previously concealed is going to be recognized. Your name is being whispered in the corridors of power. Your tale is going to be told not as a tragedy, but as a testament, and your testimony will awaken others. You are proof that divine favor exists. You are evidence that perseverance is not in vain, and you are the vehicle that God has selected to transmit this vital message into the world. It is already determined. Walk like it. Think about it. Move like it. Don't question what heaven has proven. Your promotion was accepted before you were even aware. Your success is not uncertain. It is active. So hold your head high. The change has arrived. The light is shining on you. And the world is about to discover what happens when God makes a critical decision for one of his chosen. The chosen one. This is not a random moment. It is prophetic. The road you've been on may have seemed typical, normal, and even puzzling at times. But that's because it was directing you towards something spectacular that only divine timing could reveal. You know, when God makes a significant choice in your life, it does not usually come with loud pronouncements or blazing signals. Sometimes it comes in the calm, the quietness, the little nudges that say, "Keep going." That is what you have been reacting to. As a result, you've reached a spiritual level that many people never achieve. There is a transformation taking place deep inside your spirit. It's not an accident. The pressure you felt was due to the preparation and solitude you are experiencing. That was heavenly insulation. God is keeping you away from anything that might pollute your calling. You are not being penalized. You are being preserved. You are being set aside. Because the next chapter of your life is no longer about surviving. It's about strategy. It is about following choices that heaven has already made. You don't need to predict what happens next. You must believe that the decision has already been made in your favor. God has determined you will no longer be forgotten. The season is over. The spotlight that is heading your way is not man-made. It is heavenly enlightenment. It's what occurs when the Creator decides it's time to reveal your name. Your voice should be heard. Your purpose should be acknowledged. But hear this clearly. The spotlight is not a prize. It's an assignment. Because with promotion comes accountability. And God trusts you to handle this situation with grace, humility, and intelligence. Something profound is stirring inside your identity. You no longer think like the person who couldn't believe you were starting to walk. Like the chosen one, picked for favor and plenty. I was chosen to lead. And this transition did not occur overnight. It was formed with every loss, delay, and tear. You sobbed in private. God saw it. And this is why the choice was taken. Because heaven does not squander suffering. It converts it into electricity. It transforms wounds into badges of power. You will soon find yourself in realms that previously seemed unattainable, not because you pushed your way in, but because God opened them for you. Favor is going to follow you precisely. You will not have to pursue what is divinely yours. That is what happens when God chooses. It shows up, it lines up, it flows. And what you're about to go through will not force you to sacrifice who you are. This next level is tailored to your sincerity, realness, and spiritual authority. You will not have to fake or shrink. You'll rise as yourself, and that will be sufficient. There will be occasions that will put your bravery to the test, not because you are being punished, but because each elevation requires a test of faith. God wants to test whether you'll still depend on the divine when the benefit arrives. Will you continue to pray with the same zeal when the doors open? Because genuine favor is not measured by what you own. It is determined by how you respect the one who bestowed it. Stay grounded, be appreciative, and miracles will proliferate in your life. The chosen one. Everything is being rearranged around you. People who previously misunderstood you will start seeking your counsel. Opportunities you previously dreamt about will begin to pursue you. The identical areas that previously rejected you will now shout out your name. Why? Because when heaven makes a choice, the earth reacts. You are going to witness a heavenly reversal. The last will be first. The rejected will be glorified. The forgotten will be summoned forth. And you are at the heart of this divine transformation. Do not let your past anxieties prevent you from gaining new favor. Don't allow uncertainty stop what God has already determined. You've been training for this in secret. It is now your turn to exercise public power. You will see that things are speeding. Time is compressing. What used to take months may now be completed in days. You're not behind. You are exactly on time according to heaven's calendar. And that awareness alone should give you strength. You're not late. You are not disqualified. You're perfectly aligned. Wealth is heading your way. Not just monetarily, but in terms of insight, clarity, and connection. You will be blessed with abundant vision and delight. Heaven didn't simply decide to bless you. It chose to support you. That indicates you walk with an unexplainable power. Only experienced individuals will look at you and marvel how everything is falling into place. But you will know it is not collapsing. It is being put by the hand of God. Your name is being whispered in locations where you have not yet arrived. You are being recommended for blessings you did not apply for. Your life is being linked with breakthroughs that are too exact to be coincidences. That's because it's not a coincidence. This is confirmation. Every odd favor that arrives out of nowhere is confirmation that the divine has decided to intervene for you. It is not random. It's not luck. It's what occurs when you step into the power of a divine choice. You may not recognize it yet, but something has already changed in the domain of the Spirit. When God made this crucial choice for your life, a sequence of divine alignments were put in action. The heavens took your name and associated it with time frames, people, events, and breakthroughs. It is no longer a question of if. It's only a question of when. Faster than you think. Every delay that formerly upset you is now working in your benefit. What seemed like rejection was really redirection. Every closed door was just heaven speaking. Not that one. I have something better. You are not entering a life that is similar to what you have already experienced. You are entering new ground because God's plan for you is unparalleled. You'll quickly realize that you're the first in your bloodline to possess this sort of blessing, insight, and supernatural power. You're breaking through generational boundaries. Not because you yelled louder or worked more, but because you aligned deeper, gave completely, and trusted God even when everyone around you advised you to give up. And as a result of that faith, you have been elevated to the status of heavenly example. You are becoming live proof of what occurs when a person chooses the route of purpose above popularity, and what happens when someone walks by faith rather than sight. The people around you will observe your change, and will be unable to reject God's involvement in your life. They may not understand it, but they will appreciate it because heavenly favor leaves an imprint that even non-believers can see. Prepare to stand out. Now is not the time to hide or play small. You were never intended to be ordinary. You were not created to blend in. The power that awaits you in the next season will demand you to be daring. It demands you to speak while others are mute in order to progress. When others are hesitant to act, they pull back. You are now holding something really important. It requires mobility. It requires bravery. It requires faith. God's choice concerning you included influence, not to satisfy your own ego, but to provide for His people. You are being positioned in front of the appropriate people and invited into the correct rooms, not for self-promotion, but for divine effect. There are those whose freedom depends on your voice. There will be lives affected because you choose to ascend. Your next yes is a key to someone else's door. That's how significant this moment is. That's why God has to make the choice right now. It is larger than you. You may not feel ready. You may still feel little. Remember this, however. God does not wait for your emotions to catch up before extending His favor. You are moved by spiritual rather than emotional timing. Greatness awaits you, and it will not wait for your comfort. It is waiting for you to obey. And when you take a step ahead, you'll discover that everything you thought you needed is already inside you. Wisdom, resources, and grace. It is everything there. It has been grown in secrecy, and now it's being brought into the open. Don't be shocked if heavenly confirmation continues appearing in unexpected ways. A phone call, a chat, or an unexpected opportunity that seems too good to be true. That's not a coincidence. That is God reminding you. I've already decided on this. Walk through it. You are not bargaining your way to blessings. You're getting what has already been approved. And the more you identify with that reality, the more naturally things will flow. You are not the same person who began this adventure. You have grown. You have developed. You've let go of what previously held you back. And now God is going to reward you in ways that no human hand could plan. You are entering into heavenly recompense for every tear, sacrifice, and lonely season. Heaven has been keeping records. The payment is on its way. Not just spiritually, but physically. You'll see it. You are going to touch it. You'll live in it. The chosen one. Prepare yourself psychologically. Emotional and spiritual outpouring. Your old existence will no longer mesh with a new gift. Your previous behaviors, mentality, and anxieties, they can't accompany you. You are getting rid of things that are no longer useful to you. Because what is ahead of you is too wonderful, rich, and heavenly to be overshadowed by what lies behind you. It is time to raise your thinking, to walk as if you have been selected to speak, to carry power, and to live as if you are walking in your destiny. The things that used to shake you will lose their potency. You are now being established, rooted, and anchored. The winds could blow, but they won't break. You, because heaven's choice has placed your life on an irreversible path. The same God who has led you this far will not abandon you now. What started with faith will end in triumph. What was tried privately will be rewarded publicly.